What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Mike Tabor, Harley, good to see you. Elvin, Stephen Manis in the house. Dean, good to see you guys. Austin, good to see you. Just did the first like on the video. Awesome. Hope everyone's doing the same. Amen, brother. Amen. Hey, share this thing. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate all the stuff that you guys do. Cooper the Great, good to have you. We'll let a few more get in here real quick and then we'll get started, guys. Hope you've had a good week so far. Okay, one more beer. Good to have you. Vincent Tyler, good to have you. Appreciate you being here. John, where you been, brother? I was thinking about you the other day. Crazy Pop, good to have you. Russ, what's going on, brother? Good to have you in the house tonight. It's going to be a good one tonight, I do believe. If anybody's interested, I got the Florida State Texas Tech College World Series baseball game, elimination game on tonight. Bottom of the first, tied 0-0. Papa C's Barbecue and Brew, good to have you tonight. Thank you very much. Gary, good to have you tonight. Looks like it's going to be a good night tonight, guys. Y'all be sure to give me a thumbs up on the live stream tonight. Always helpful. Smoky Joe Barbecue. Blue Smoke Barbecue. Good to have you guys. I hope I'm not, Elvin, I try to stay on the rails. But sometimes I get a little nudge, and then it just, when it goes off, it goes off. I'm going to try to stay on the rails tonight. Steven, check your front porch tomorrow. Good Lord. Well, I'll be anxiously awaiting whatever comes on the front porch tomorrow, Steven. Andy, good evening. Jason, how's it going, brother? Rick's Barbecue in Blackstone, good to have you. That's right, John. Austin, that's awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, Austin, if you haven't opened them yet, I threw in a little surprise for the wife. Wow, how about that? Smiley Chad, DJ Shorty Roberts is in the house. Only thing on your porch for me are empty Dos Equis. That's a fact. Eastwind Farms, Semper Fi. Good to have you. All right, we got a full house. Let's go ahead and get started. Miss Piddlin, we got some company in there. She'll be in here as soon as she bids them farewell. So we'll go ahead and get started. A couple of housekeeping deals first, and then we'll get into some barbecue stuff. Just like I always do, I like to give all you guys a little channel update. I'm off working. I got you. Making a little extra money. I got you. Yeah, check it out. Awesome. Let me know what you think. That was some stuff that I found. If it's not exactly what she wanted, just let me know and I'll send her something else. So, but I like to give you guys a little channel update simply because you guys are the ones that have made my channel what it is. So As of a while ago, I had wrote down 4,311 subs, but actually when I checked back, we had gotten another one. So 4,312 subs. That's awesome. 565,000 views. That's unbelievable to me. So good stuff. And by the way, Miss Piddlin's cobbler video has gotten 543 views. So that's good stuff. Good stuff. And just a little idea of how the channel's going. I like to look at this sometimes just to, get a little encouragement and see if we're improving. But the last 28 days, it kind of compares it to the last 28 days previous, I guess. And the views are up 40%, subs are up 52%, and the watch time is up 48%. So across the board, I'm up between 40 and 50% of this time last month. So things are growing, guys, and I appreciate all of you guys' support. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So thank all of you. So that's a little channel update on where we're at. So just a little quick teaser, I guess, maybe. But I'm planning something pretty special with the help of some other folks and when we get a little bit closer, I'll talk to you about that a little more. You know who you are, but going to plan something pretty cool for 5,000 subs. Going to do a pretty good little giveaway for that. And so just something for you guys to look forward to. So Cam, good to have you tonight. So just something to think about and, share my channel and encourage people to come across and come aboard with the Piddlin crew. And when we hit 5,000, we're going to do it upright. So just something for you to think about. Let's talk about the merchandise real quick for a minute. Coffee mugs. I've got 2 oranges left and 2 blacks left. That's all I've got left. So again, thanks to you guys for wanting them and picking them up. But I've got 2 of the orange and 2 of the black left, and that's it. So if you like one of the mugs, don't wait, because by the end of the night, they may not be there. So those have been really cool. And to be honest with you, I like these mugs better than the first ones. I just like the way they look. I like the black halo on top and all that. So I think they turned out really cool. $12 for those. So Justin Stanley, appreciate you being here, brother, and thank you for your weekly stipend. It's always on time, man. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Can you hold me a black one? I'll do it. I'll take it out of inventory and I'll hold you the black one. I'll do it. Consider it done. One of them right there. Sure will. Hold on. Let me do it right now so that it don't get bought. Y'all stay with me just a second. Also, as far as the merchandise stuff goes, let me do this real quick. Black. Edit that. And -1. All right, cool. Consider it done, Stephen. All right. Stephen Manis, bless you, brother. Golly. Thank you, man. All you guys, I say it all the time. I truly believe I've got some of the best subscribers on YouTube. I really do. I believe that with all my heart. And thank you guys very much. Appreciate all that. Just let me know, Stephen, when you want it, and I'll ship it to you, man. So, sure will. Also, the Richardson hats. I've got one Richardson. It's the white, the red and white. This is the only Richardson hat I've got left. So it's on the website. And these hats came in yesterday. And I only got 5. And I had 4 because I kept this one for myself because I really do like it. I didn't think I would like this style hat, but I actually love it. Love the way it looks, love the way it fits. It's a really nice hat with the patch on it. Um, these are going to be 28 just because they're a really nice hat. And these are a lot harder for Miss Piddlin's little fingers to sew these patches on. They're working her thumbs to a nub. But so I kept this one. The camo one has already been claimed, and my son Nate bought one. So now I think I'm down to 2 hats. We'll show you those hats when Brandy comes in. So I think I'm down to only 2 hats left with those, but I do have some visors coming as well. They'll be here first of the week. We'll put the patches on those. And I do have 1 patch left in the on the website. If you just want to purchase a patch by itself, you could put it on an apron, you can put it on a hat, whatever you want to put it on. Some of the stuff that you may put it on, I don't want to know, so keep that to yourself. So that's kind of the merchandise deal right now. I know sometimes it might be aggravating because the inventory is so low on some of this stuff, but I can only do what I can do. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So, but the good thing about it is I'm not having a lot of inventory that I've got to just keep and look at it sitting here doing nothing, because as soon as I get something, it's usually purchased pretty quick. So I do appreciate that part of it. So, but we'll keep growing as we go along. So y'all just be patient and stay with me, guys. I appreciate all of you. So that's the channel update, and that's the merchandise stuff. So now we can get to the other stuff, which is barbecue stuff. First of all, I hope everybody's cooks have been going well. I cooked I made another rendition of the Mississippi pot roast this past weekend. Turned out amazing as always. Sometimes though, when I do that recipe, I always change it up somehow, some way. And this time I changed it up a little bit by I found a jar of the sweet hot pickled peppers in there. And so I did that again, but I also found a jar of pickled Vidalia onions. And it was in the pickled section. And, you know, Vidalia onions are really big around here. And I usually put at least 1 chopped up onion in there anyway, but I thought, man, that'll add a lot of flavor to it. So I put half of that jar, because it was a big jar. Put half of that jar in there. And then the normal stuff you put in a Mississippi pot roast. Man, it turned out amazing. Nice smoke ring on it. Stephen, I used the remainders of that post oak on those 2. I did 2 chuck roasts. Great smoke ring on them. They turned out amazing. Perfect. And Harley's coming tomorrow night to stay with me for the night. We're going to do a cook, and we're going to do another one of those. I got 2 more chuck roasts today, and we're going to do it again tomorrow because it's such a hit. And whatever leftovers you have, which wasn't many, it seems like it just picks up even more flavor for the next day. Y'all know how some of that goes sometimes. So we're going to do that. Can you grab those other 2 hats, babe? The ones we got left. Thank you. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And thanks to Russ, the first time I ever saw that Mississippi pot roast was on his channel. And I've been doing some kind of different version of it ever since then. And man, flavor out of this world. Love it. So good stuff. Harley experienced a pretty cool recipe last weekend. Fudge brownies with diced chipotle peppers mixed in the batter with crumbled bacon on top. Sounded awesome. So another cool idea if you bake a little bit on your grills as well. These are the other 2 hats. These are only 2 of the Yupung hats that I have left, orange and khaki. or just like this one that I've got on right here, gray and white. And you can imagine the ones with the patch on it, just like the one I have on. These are the only two I have left. I got 5 and 3 of them are already gone. So orange and khaki, gray and white. If you'd like to claim one now, go ahead. If not, I'll announce on Facebook and Instagram when they're up on the website. Brandy,
Austin wants to know what size they are. They're snapbacks.
They're the snapbacks, Austin. They're I don't know if they're bigger. I don't know if they're bigger than the ones. It says one size fits most, but Austin, we know that you're not the average most. But shoot, I don't know. If I put it on if there's 2 buttons snapped left on it, here's what happens to my head. So, I mean, I can fit my thumbs. I can fit both thumbs underneath it. And I thought I had a pretty big head, but maybe not. I have no idea what size that would be. Huge. Huge is what it would be, but I don't know exactly what size it would be. No. Yupung since 1974 snapback hat, but great hat. Love it. So those are the 2 hats that I've got. If you would like one, you can claim it. If not, then I'll let you know when they get put on the website. Good grief, man. I've got a buddy that's got a head that's pretty big. I mean, really big. Well, you might have topped him, Austin.
Let me see.
That's just swole. Yeah, it is. Harley's got a big old gourd too.
What size? I mean, what snap does he have to be?
Yeah, Harley, what size? Where you got your snapped at, Harley? He probably ain't gonna tell you the truth.
I'll see it tomorrow.
Shout out to Curtis Nations for that recipe on the brownies. Absolutely. Curtis has been commenting and stuff on all my Instagram stuff lately. I appreciate that very much. Andy, let me know what you think about that pot roast when you do it this weekend. Austin, I'm still working on getting you. I've still got that hat that you sent me, and I'm going to do some homework and see if I can locate a couple of those for you. Jacqueline and Dad, good to have you. Steven says to be looking for something on the front porch tomorrow. John Woo. Just got a 5-pound pork belly with skin on. How should I cook it? Well, for me, I would take the skin off. And who's at East Wind Farms? Mm-hmm. I just did a video. A great suggestion would be I just did a video on bacon burn ends, but you could do the same thing with that pork belly. And the bacon that I got, it had the skin on it as well. And once you start your knife under that skin, you can flip it over and just peel it, and it'll peel right off. It should. And then you could do that pork belly just like I did those bacon burn ends. Cook them the exact same way, and they'll turn out great. Check out that video. It's bacon burn ends. Turned out great. So there's one suggestion there. Just bought a mug with the orange label just to keep the competition between you and Brandy.
It's going to be a nail biter.
Elvin,
Thanks, Elvin.
I'm going to come out on top.
Appreciate it.
Elvin, by the way, we did walk the Silverbac twice this week. So it's all good now. Dog Father's in the house. What's going on, brother? Gotcha. I'm going to see what I can do, Austin. Let's see what we got going on.
Hey, just got in the house. Where's he been in the house?
Tried the B&B lump on some steaks last weekend. Great charcoal. Awesome. Going to be a nail. It is. It is. I got to make sure that everything's on the up and up, though. I don't want any false ordering or something going on.
Whatever. He can't stand to lose.
Fry the. Let's see. Mr. Johnny Boy, good to have you. Say Eddie's in that. Yeah, there's Eddie. What's going on, brother? Just figured them Blue Cross hatch lines are not supposed to.
Stain the stickers.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, we always learn from our mistakes, brother. That's good stuff.
Steven likes the black. Yeah. I just like color. And since orange was his first real color, I thought they'd look good on him.
Mike Mosley, good to have you. Got some keto mac and cauliflower going on right now. That is awesome. I tell you something else that's awesome with that cauliflower is cauliflower potato salad. Obviously, instead of the potatoes, you use cauliflower, but make it the same way pretty much. And me and Brandy made it. Actually, Brandy made it. Tasted exactly like, that mustard potato salad. Loved it. So,
Your brother.
where we at?
Skip him. He's on the third snap.
The Marine Corps says I'm a 6 7/8. 6 7/8. There's no way you're a 6 7/8.
Hey, Mr. Dave.
Dave C., what's going on? Good to have you tonight. Dave, I'll contact you when we've got your hat, the camo. As soon as we get it ready, probably tomorrow sometime, I'll let you know.
Dog follow.
How we have 40 watching and only 20. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all make sure if you're in the house, give me a thumbs up on the live chat tonight. That'd be awesome. Pickles Barbecue, good to have you. Learn from our mistakes. That's why I have to. That's true. Very true. Daddy Dutch Barbecue, good to have you tonight.
You're welcome, Dave.
All right, I think we caught up with everybody now. Man, y'all a fast crowd tonight. Good to have everybody in the house. Number 22 has the lead with 614 points. You talking about?
That's my man. That's my man.
Must be coloring in a coloring book or something.
No. He may win the championship again this year.
Well, I'm going to win the coffee cup battle.
Whatever.
All right. After seeing your wall, I told the wife it's time to start adding barbecue art. Posted what she got me to start on my IG pose last night. That's awesome. I'll have to check that out. I'll definitely check that out. Mike Tabor. I just subscribed to Harley's channel if he ever makes a video. Oh, he's going to make one. He's going to make one.
Because neither one of y'all said P.O. box.
Yeah. All right, barbecue question tonight. Let's get everybody riled up a little bit. First of all, and I got a reason why I'm asking this question. The reason why I'm going to ask the first question is to get to the second question, which is really what I'm interested in, and it's almost as bad as fat side up or down, dog father. What adds flavor to your food? What adds flavor on your grill to your food? Y'all tell me y'all tell me down there in the box. But here's what I'm talking about, MSG. Here's what I'm talking about. I wrote a little list of what I think adds flavor to your food. Now, I've got down the meat itself. Obviously different cuts of meat. Wagyu is going to be a different flavor than another type of beef, for example. So that's what I mean by the meat itself. And I'm sure we're going to get some amazing.
Here go the rails.
Yeah, here go the rails. A marinade, whether it's dry marinade, wet marinade, that's going to add flavor to your food. A rub or seasoning, whatever you rub or season that piece of meat with, is going to add flavor. Any sauces that you might put on, say halfway through a cook for ribs, for example, is going to add flavor. Whatever fuel you have, whether it's wood, your flavored pellets, your charcoal, whatever the case may be, is going to add flavor to the food on your grill. So that's the list that I come up with. Now, if I miss something, let me know. Let me know if y'all have something different that's going to add flavor to the food, to the meat on your grill. I'll give you a minute or two, and then I'm going to ask the second question.
Right here.
Smoke and time. I like that, Stephen.
Also the beer.
I'll thumbs up the beer.
Mike.
Dirty grill. Well, that's probably the case, Mike, but we're looking for good flavors. I should have said good flavors. Pickles do add flavor. Smoke. Seasoning in your pit. All right. Fat in the fire. In other words, fat drippings onto the hot coals or hot wood. I agree with that 100%. Everything, rubs, smoke, injection. Good answers. Salt, seasonings, umami, MSG, quality of food. Quality of food's good one. I like these answers. We're getting somewhere. What else? Chunks of carbon falling from the top of the grill. Now that does happen, and it probably does add flavor, but not kind of the flavor we're looking for. Oh, no, we're not doing that. Going down. The two B's, probably bacon and beer. I can't even see the first one, but yeah, bacon and beer. I agree with that. Fats and oils, Eddie Hanks says. Very true. Rubs add the most flavor, Vincent says. 1984 barbecue, good evening. Sailor Jerry's. Harley's adding a lot of flavor with Sailor Jerry's.
41 viewers.
Austin, I rub half a raw onion on the grill as it's heating up and then leave it in the water pan. I like that, Austin. I like that. Very cool. Wait, that adds flavor to me. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that, brother. All right, I like those answers. Now, Michelob Ultra Limes, they definitely do.
Oh, that's Smiley.
Here's why I asked that question, because now this is where it's fixing to go off the rails. Because I saw this conversation / argument today. Yes, I did chime in on it. I couldn't help it. Oh. So, and this is more specific to pellet grills than anything else, because I do think stick burners are a different animal as far as ability to add flavor to food, okay, meat. But this was a specific conversation about pellet grills. And I'm not going to name brands, but one guy says that he bought X brand pellet grill, and he came from 2 other brands of pellet grills, X, Y, and now he's on brand Z pellet grill, and he's glad he made the switch because brand Z pellet grill adds more flavor to the food than the other 2. My answer to him was, look, man, you can cook the same piece of meat on 5 different pellet grills. As long as you use the same brand of pellets and the same flavor of pellets, same parameters, you're not going to be able to tell which piece of meat was cooked on X, Y, or Z pellet grill. I'm sorry. I've owned 6 pellet grills. can't really tell the difference in flavor. If you order the same, use the same brand of pellet, same parameters for the cook. So I had a lot of people agree with me. A couple people didn't agree. But it seemed to be specific to that brand, if you catch my drift. So you tell me, are different pellet grills going to add more or less flavor to a piece of meat? Let me know.
Albert.
I want to see what you think. Barbecue low and slow regardless of our grill. There's surface flavors and penetrative flavors. Agreed. Daddy Dutch Barbecue says that's BS.
And
he needs a psychiatrist. Albert, good to have you. Fiance was taking too long at Sam's Club. I love it.
Oh, goodness.
Smoky Ribs, I wish he was talking about a Yoder because I might have fell in line with him, but he was not. He was not. I bet my cheap knockoff cooks as good as a Traeger. No difference, not counting Pro Control Tech. Think it may depend on the functionality of the different pellet grills. Some may not circulate as well. Just a theory on my part. I'll tell you this. Now the brands of pellet grills that he was mentioning are all pretty quality pellet grills. I mean, they're at the top as far as pellet grills go. The only pellet grill I've tasted a difference on was the RecTech I had. Well, Stephen Manis is on to something because he was talking about his RecTech, how it had produced more flavor than the other two brands of pellet grills that he had. The other two pellet grills, one of which is even a larger pellet grill company than the RecTech is. Me personally, I think that's BS. I think there are different qualities of pellet grills, obviously. Some may be built a little bit better, so on and so forth. But the cooking technology on all these pellet grills, for the most part, is pretty much the same, especially when you get into that price range. The how do I say this? The cooking chamber, for the most part, as far as how well insulated it is, how much smoke leaks out, that kind of stuff, is pretty much universal with that price range with the grills that he was mentioning. My personal opinion is he wanted to say that because that's the grill he had at that moment. And we've talked about this before. It's the need. David Cooper, good to have you. Just ordered a Pro 780. Congratulations. Outstanding, man. David, I'm going to do a video by this weekend that's going to delve deeper into that Pro 780 controller as far as programming, personalized cooks and that kind of thing. So be looking for that. But we've talked about that topic before, about how guys just feel the need to justify their purchase by, without a doubt, saying that whatever they bought, X brand, Y brand, or Z brand, that brand that they just bought was the best, because otherwise they're going to look stupid for paying that much money for that brand. When in reality, why can't we just be honest? You know, the flavors are pretty much the same, but I just like this grill. Well, we can all accept that. So I found that kind of an interesting conversation. Do different pellet grills using the same pellets, same parameters, add different flavors enough to where you can recognize it to the same piece of meat? I just don't think they do, for the most part. I just don't. But I thought that was a pretty cool conversation. Personally, and only my opinion, depends on the meat. You can buy dog shit choice beef or have friends you hunt with and have fresh game. I agree with that, but at the end of the day, with the if you put that same meat, whatever it is, on 3 different pellet grills, I think they're pretty much going to come off about the same.
Right here. We'll let it jump down.
Josh and Babe, good to have you. Yeah, we're way up there. You can go back down. He probably had better cuts of meat when he thought it was the cooker doing it. Quality of meat is everything. That is true. I'll tell you something else, Russ, that didn't occur to me till just now. But we all know that after we cook, or the longer that we cook, the better we get at our cooks. And so that might be some of it too. The more experience you have, the better off your cooks are going to turn out. And so that might be a little bit of it too. He's already went through 2 pellet smokers. Now he's on his third one. And I promise you, when he started out on his first pellet smoker, he probably struggled a little bit. I did. I'm sure most of us did, because it's a trial and error type thing. So now the meats may be tasting better off of his third pellet smoker that he's on, simply from his experience that he's had. So that might be something else to do with it. So that's some good answers. Good answers. This is why I stick to my stick burner. Tons of flavor every time. Nothing against pellet grills. They are 2 different animals. Exactly. They are 2 different animals. No doubt about it. Look at Cooper the Great. Just what I said. Maybe he learned to cook on the other grills and is better now. Absolutely. Quick question for you. Go back down, babe. I know the new Pro Series don't have the smoke setting. Would you say this would be achieved by simply setting temp to 160 to 225? Just curious. Well, you're asking a guy that really doesn't go below 225 hardly ever. That's my personal preference. But my personal opinion is if you go to 225, I don't think you're going to be able to tell that much difference without the super smoke setting. So 200 might even go there. I have used the super smoke on that Timberline that I had and enjoyed it, but to be honest with you, I haven't missed it. And the lowest that I cook on with that 780 is 225, and it does just fine. So, I mean, that's just my personal preference, my personal opinion. And there's Harley's answer right there, David. The best smoke on the 780 is achieved by setting at 200 to 225. So there's kind of your answer there, but I was saying pretty much the same thing. And here's one of the reasons why I choose not to go below 225, because from what I have seen, and I know some of the pellet grills can do it, but from what I have seen, most of the people that have problems with their pellet grills, besides the fact that they did no research and have no idea how to operate them, is, as far as temperature ranges go, below 200 degrees or above 450. That's when the problems come in. If they're 400 or above, if they shut them down right away without backing the temp down and letting it settle down again, and then shutting them down, they tend to have a back burn back up into their pellet hopper. Below 200 degrees, I understand that they have a controller, but that's a lot to ask of that controller, especially, say, here in South Georgia, where on any given day with the heat index, it could be 102 degrees, 105 degrees. Let's say 105 degrees. So let's say you want to set it at 160, like you mentioned. If the heat index is 105 degrees, You're asking that controller to build a fire and keep it sustained only 55 degrees above what the heat index is. For a human being, that would almost be impossible. If you could set it up to where you could monitor the heat coming off of that fire, and you yourself tried to keep a fire burning, tried to keep a flame going without it producing more than 55 degrees more than what the ambient temperature already is, it would almost be impossible. You're either going to way overshoot it or your fire's going to go out. Well, guess what? That's what happens a lot of times anyway. So I just choose to limit the chance of something negative happening by just staying between that 225. I'll be honest with you, I rarely cook under 225, and I rarely cook over 350. I don't care if it's steaks, I don't care what it is. Steaks, I'll be honest with you, I could care less if it has sear marks or not. Everybody blows up and has a big deal about sear marks. I don't care if it has sear marks. Some of the best steaks that I've eaten are off the pellet grills that we've eaten at Bristol, Tennessee, and Chad brings them from a guy 20 miles from us, marinated in a little Worcestershire sauce, and we put them on the pellet smoker, cook them at 250, 300 degrees, and just let them go until the internal temp's right, pull them off, and you can almost cut them with a fork. So that's just the way I choose to cook on a pellet smoker. So my food tastes better when cooking with a Jus Piddlin hat on my head. Eddie, it's funny that you say that, because I've experienced the same thing, and it doubles in flavor with the shirt and the hat.
Right.
Triples if you've got a Jus Piddlin BBQ mug with some iron bean coffee in it. Scientific fact, Eddie. I've got a 36-inch vertical offset with the warming oven. I've had it now for like 6 or 7 years. Dogfather's got some cool smokers.
Mm-hmm.
All this info is helpful. Good deal, David. Now, my second favorite name of all time, Edward's Sister's Hands. Love it. Good to have you tonight. Now, David, keep in mind, I'm not saying that you can't do that. I just think that you limit the chance of having something go wrong if you stay 225 or above. So I think you missed my question. Do you think using a Tapaque or Inkbird matters on a pellet smoker? No. Man, I'm glad you brought that up. I kind of am not glad you brought it up. Let me tell you this, because this has been going on now for months, really, but it seems like it's getting worse. All right, and I want you guys' thoughts on it. But it's really aggravating me and really blowing my mind, to be honest with you. Guys are going out, they're buying brand new pellet smokers. Okay, they're spending $800 to $1,200, $1,500 on these pellet smokers. They bring them home, they plug them in, they start them up and burn them in. Their very first cook, they start their grill up, and something clicks in their brain and says, you know what? I don't believe that controller's right. I'm going to go buy me a $100 temp probe to test it. So then they stick their probe that they just bought, because they don't believe the $1,000 grill that they just bought, into there and set it on the grill grate. Well, then they go on Facebook and post that the grill is off by 50 degrees. Well, first off, the question that I ask every single time is why? Why are you doing that? First of all, if you don't believe in the product, then why did you just spend $1,500 on it to come home and not believe it? Why are you doing that? Do you do the same thing on your refrigerator? Do you do the same thing in your microwave or your oven? You know, nobody's doing that on anything else that they buy but these pellet smokers for some reason. Why? Well, because they said on them Facebooks that they were off. You better check them. I've had 6 pellet grills. You know how many I have not believed and have went out and bought probes and stuck in the grills? 0. Not a single one. You know how many bad cooks I've had off any of these pellet grills? 0. Not a single one. Have we? Not a bad cook. Not a single cook has gone bad. The only probes that I ever put in any grill, I got Kamado, I got a Watchman Stove, I got a pit barrel cooker, I got a bazillion pellet grills out there. Anything else I got out there? I don't even remember. The only probe that I ever put in there is sometimes off a pellet grill, and it's a meat probe that I put inside a meat like a pork butt to see when I get to the right internal temp. Sometimes here lately, I don't even do that. I just take my ThermoWorks thermopin when I think it's about done and stick it in there until it's probe tender, and then I pull it. I don't use any kind of thermometer on my pit barrel cooker. Nothing. I don't use any kind of thermometer. Nothing on my Kamado Joe. Nothing except the dial that it came with. That's it. I have my thermopin. I'll check the meat temp. That's it. All these guys that are spending all this money on these pellet grills, and I know I'm missing 90 million of these comments, and I'm never going to be able to keep up with them, so I apologize for that. But again, my biggest question is, why are these people doing this? So then here's what happens. The RTD probe that's in the middle, now Traeger has thermocouple. Whatever. The thing that's inside the grill that's measuring the internal temp of the grill is measuring the air temperature circulating in the grill. Well, a lot of these guys are putting that temp probe on the grill grate. Well, that RTD is not measuring the temp on the grill grate. It's measuring the air temp in the middle of that chamber. So that's the first error. Here's the second error. And this is what I always want to ask these astronauts. You bought this $1,500 pellet smoker and brought it home and immediately didn't think it was right. So then you went and bought a $100 gadget to test the controller that you don't believe. And then you go on Facebook and say, hey, and you'll even take a picture. Here's what my controller on my grill says, and this is what my gadget says. And you automatically believe the gadget. Well, wait a minute now, you spent $1,500 on this one and didn't believe it. Why are you believing this one? Maybe you should go buy another gadget to test the gadget that you're testing your grill with. Now, what are you going to do when that one reads different than that one, which is reading different than that one? Which one are you going to believe? You know, you're making this way more difficult than it has to be. Number one. Number two. Now, number three. If the food, this is what kills me about the pit barrel cooker. And I've got to be in the right mindset to do this video, but I'm still going to do a video of me modifying my pit barrel cooker like all these other geniuses are going to do. Brandy's looking at me like I'm crazy. You'll get it when we do the video. Like the pit barrel cooker, I've never cooked a single thing that wasn't great off the pit barrel cooker, straight out of the box. I haven't added anything to that thing. It has no temp gauge. I don't put a temp gauge in it. I don't do anything to it. I just cook on it. You know what I did? Read them directions. Noah printed off. Spent 5-10 years creating those directions in that grill. I read them. Okay. Did exactly what it said. Produce great food. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I do. These people are doing some of this stuff and they've never cooked a meal on these grills. If they're producing great food, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Don't clutter your mind with doubt. Produce great food. Keep it simple, stupid. Cook on it. Enjoy it. Grab one of these things. These things are one of your best tools for cooking barbecue. Turn on your favorite tunes. Grab your lovely lady and enjoy your backyard. That's it. Stay off the Facebook groups. That's my helpful tip for the day. Oh, man. That's been huge. That's been huge. Amen. Cheers, Russ. Man, I just don't get it. I don't understand how that got started.
Holly said, don't tell him what to do.
Nobody goes and buys a brand new oven and comes home and shoves a temp probe in there. Nobody does that. How did that get started with these grills? I don't know. I don't understand it. Dog father started it. The dog pound started it. Now we know. You can't trust them guys that are originally from Augusta, Georgia. They get a little wild over there. You know, that's a great point. Marketing. That is a great point now. I got to admit. Anytime something happens or a company can jump on the bandwagon with something and make $1, man, it takes off. I agree with you 100% on that now. 100%. The dog father, the dog pound let the dogs out. Southern Griddler and Barbecue. Because it's about money, that's right. Bingo. I've said that 100 times. Oven swinging the temp plus or minus 50 degrees. And every time I say that, I don't think people believe it. They don't believe it. I see we need to introduce y'all to the Kennel Club.
Chad went Anderson.
Oh, Andersons. Good stuff. Anyway, Dogfather started that whole conversation. Thank you, brother. But that's just been huge. I see it every single day almost. But it's just kept growing and growing and growing. And now, here's what I fear is people now who are just getting into pellet grilling think because of all these Facebook posts that as soon as they get their grill, they're automatically going to be wrong. And they automatically have to go buy X, Y, and Z and come home and run wires all in it. And they're going to read something different. It's going to be wrong. Now what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. I just think that's wrong. Early Weaver tells us their favorite line, $20. I don't know. Mike, don't start that. Don't start that, Mike. Mike likes to poke the stick at the bear. I just asked the question. Yeah. Funny thing is, these people probably aren't seasoning their meat properly because they are too about temp. They can't. That's a great point. Their cooks aren't turning out great because they're not even paying attention about their cook. They're worrying about what that thing says on that little screen. I agree 100%. Biscuit test, every pit is different. I agree. I'm thinking I may drop a few corned beef briskets on the 780 for my first cook pastrami for days. I love pastrami now. I will tell you this, though, David. I will tell you this. And you may be a seasoned cook, and I think that's a totally different topic there, Gregor. That's totally different topic.
Mike said it's the same.
No. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, Mike. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Mega Fred Zeppelin, good to have you, brother. Where was I going with that? Gregor's done got me thrown off on that topic. Oh, David, you might be a seasoned veteran barbecuer. But here's something else that I see. People buy their first smoker ever. First smoker ever. What do? They don't go out and buy hamburgers and hot dogs. You know, if you've just bought your very first smoker, go out and buy you a pack of Nathan hot dogs and throw them on there and just grill them. Go buy you some pre-patted hamburgers and just throw them on there and cook them. Just see how it cooks. If nothing else, you're going to learn that the left side cooks a little harder than the right. Whatever. You're going to learn how quickly it comes up to temp, how evenly it stays at temp, all that stuff. But a lot of these guys don't do that. They're going to go out and they're going to buy a $200 Wagyu brisket for their first cook and throw it on there. And I mean, it's going to look like tree bark when they get it off and taste about the same. Well, my first cook was a failure. Well, what'd you try? Well, a $200 Wagyu brisket. Don't do that. You know, you got to crawl before you can walk. Everybody just wants to buy a big old smoker, jump in with the big dogs. Don't do that. Too much salt on all those pre-mades. Get the low sodium pre-patted. Low sodium.
Just Piddlin hot topics. There's a bunch.
I didn't figure we were going to have a whole lot to talk about tonight, but I was wrong. Harley called me and asked me, what you going to talk about tonight? Man, I don't really know. But you guys always come up with the topics. Especially when Dog Father and Mike Tabor's in the house. I can't type in all names. Back to basics instead of gadgets. I agree with you 100%. And all of this really, that's a great point. All of this really goes back to the most simplest form. You know, I got a fire pit out there that Brandy bought. Came with a grill grate. Sometimes, and I hadn't done it a long time, I just like throwing some charcoal in that thing in the fire pit or just building a fire with wood and just cooking. Just back to how Daddy would do it, you know? Don't make it any harder than it is. $40 for someone who tubulates. I don't even know what tubulates means. Manager's Corner, Earl Weaver, and tells me their favorite line to this channel. Manager's Corner, Earl Weaver. Look it up, babe. Maybe we can get us some $40. We need to do an impromptu live tomorrow night. Man, that's a great idea.
Oh, yeah. I got something that y'all need to do, Harley. Mm-hmm.
What do we need to do?
Mm-hmm.
What do we need to do?
I'll let you know, Harley, when you get here tomorrow.
I don't know if I like that. What do we need to do?
Manager's Corner. What am I looking up?
What me and Harley need to do?
You know.
I have no idea what we need to do.
I got you.
Oh, Lord. Harley Slinger.
You gonna need it.
Harley, if you want to do that now, I'll go ahead and announce it right here tonight. Say when. Back to basics instead of gadgets. $40. All pit smokers' drums are different and all have learning curves. I agree with you 100%. Go real low tech. Dig a hole in the ground. Perfect. I see a lot of guys doing great cooks with holes in the ground and some banana leaves or something like that wrapped pulled pork. Old Russ did a cook, I think, one time with some banana leaves and some pulled pork.
The Manager's Corner with the thoughts and opinions of the American League's winningest manager, the Orioles, Earl Weaver. And now to the Manager's Corner with Earl Weaver.
This ought to be good. I ain't cutting no grass. Just look on your front porch and do it live. Yeah.
Oh, we can't put all that out there.
Wait.
Oh my God.
Gregor, what'd you get us into, brother?
Wow.
Well, certainly this show is going to get out in history, Earl. Jerry, wants to know why you don't use Terry Crowley as the designated hitter role. So Jerry Crowley's lucky he's in fucking baseball.
Yeah, evidently they like to use the F-bomb, Gregor.
Oh,
And yeah, all of that. Holy cow. Hawaiians are experts at cooking in the ground. Yeah. I'm trying not to turn it up. What in the world? Oh, I got a pig in the ground, some beer on ice. All my rowdy friends are coming over tonight. I love that. Oh. She is a baseball fan, Tim.
Wow. I'd have to go back and that might take me a minute.
College, Vanderbilt. We've seen Vanderbilt play several times. We like the old Vandy boys.
Braves.
Major League, we like the Braves.
I'm watching the College World Series right now. This is an elimination game.
Texas Tech's up 1-0, bottom of the fourth.
Against Florida State.
Can you get in trouble broadcasting YouTube content on YouTube? I think you can. I don't know. Smoke unites us all. It's the passion we all share. Dave, that's pretty good. I like it.
Oh, that'd be
These
cool.
people that end to get hopper pellet fires. Going to the corner with my popcorn and watching what happens. Get into the hopper pellet fires. Yeah.
He's still going.
You gotta hit stop, babe. My opinion, and it's in my video that I did a long time ago. It's called, and I share it at least a couple times a week. What are you doing?
You just talk.
Oh, well, okay. That video was called How to Clean and Operate a Pellet Grill Safely. I share it about 3 or 4 times a week. But I address that backfire into the hopper stuff. Most of the time, that is due to them cooking at a really high temp, 450 degrees or higher. And when they go to shut the grill off, they just go over there and shut it down. Well, when it gets above 400 degrees or so, I mean, that fire pot is hot, really hot. And those embers of those pellets are really hot. And so, because even when it shuts down, that fan stays on to help burn the rest of those pellets up. But because it's so hot, it starts back burning up through that auger tube. And what I have found, Mike, good to see you, brother. What I have found is if you cook, and this is just what I do, and I can tell you that I don't have any issues. That's all I know. If I cook at 400 degrees or higher before I shut it down, I'll knock the temp down to 275 and let that thing slowly come down to 275 and let it stabilize at 275. And then it's just like a normal cook that I normally do anyway. And then I shut it down and it always shuts down properly. I never have anything back up into the hopper whatsoever. So what kills me, and this is another great question, is me and Harley was talking about this earlier today. These guys that have these back burns into the hopper, or guys that have fires in their grill, instead of putting the damn thing out, what do? Well, they go get their cell phone and they video it, and then they take time to post it on Facebook and ask all these geniuses on Facebook, what is it? What caused it? And what do I do? Well, my advice is the first thing you do is put this damn thing down and put the fire out. The second thing you do is before you purchase the grill, you do research so that you already know what a flame out is. You already know what a back burn into the pellet hopper is. You already know what causes it. And you already know what to do to prevent it or what to do if it happens. That's what you should do. Man, what are we doing?
I mashed something. It'll go away. I gotcha.
So that's what I say. But in my opinion, that's what causes it. They're cooking at too high of a temp and then just shutting it down cold turkey. But that stuff is so hot in that fire pot that it's backing up through the auger tube into the fire pot. But here's the thing. If smoke is backing up into your pellet hopper and coming out of your pellet hopper, if you know how a fire works, why would you go over there and open up the lid to your hopper and leave it open to take a picture of it and all that stuff? You're introducing more oxygen into your pellet hopper. Does that make sense to you guys? You're making that problem worse. Keep that lid closed. If your grill is on fire, do not go over there and open up the lid and see what's going on in there and all that. You're introducing more oxygen to that fire. But these guys want to go over there and take a peek, open the lid, and hey, honey, give me my phone so I can take a picture of this thing. I need to ask them Facebook groups what I need to do. I think sometimes owning a grill should be like getting a driver's license. You should have to pass a test before you're able to purchase a smoker. I don't even know where I'm at on this thing. Oh, man. I like Brandy being the moderator. Whatever, Mike. I never had a fire once in my old Traeger because I keep nice and clean. It's amazing how that happens, Tim, when you keep things nice and clean and, you know, you use some common sense, nothing bad happens. It's amazing. God bless you. Oh, let's see.
Stupid is as stupid as I love saying that.
Bingo. And that's completely accurate. Easy bake barbecue. You cannot fix stupid. I agree with that. As the saying goes, can't fix stupid. Bingo.
Elvin, I'm back. You want to buy a Val this week?
Cheers, brother. Man. I think these live shows have increased my ultra budget. You've gone overboard now. Now the show just went off the rails. It just went off the rails. Out of the 5 pellet grills I've owned, Never had a flame out or back burn. Stephen, I've had, I think, 6 pellet grills. I have had 1 back burn. My fault. I know you can't believe it, but it wasn't the grill's fault. My fault. Me and Harley were together, actually in Bristol, Tennessee. We were cooking on the tailgater, high temp, and shut it straight down.
Oh, take a letter.
We started it right back up, get back to temp, let it burn all that stuff out. The auger tube pushed the smoldering pellets out into the burn pot. We set it down to 275, let it come down, just like I said, then cut it off. No more issues. So a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you is because I've experienced it myself. Yeah, guys, if you do get put in timeout by my one and only moderator, Harley Smith, it's because he has butt dialed your name with his phone in his back pocket. Because last week, I think we had 5 people in timeout for 30 seconds because Harley put him in timeout. This is actually the first live show I've checked out. Digging it. David, I hope you come back. I've enjoyed having you in here, man. Oh, man.
Hey, when you have 2 eyes.
Yeah, I was in timeout for a little while.
Yeah.
Stephen was, yeah. Stephen, Justin Stanley, he was in timeout. Poor Justin. I'm glad y'all came back. Good stuff. Whew, man, it's done got hot in here. If you don't mess up, you're not doing anything. Well, you know what? If you don't mess up sometimes, you're not going to learn, that's for sure. But the thing is, learn from that mistake and don't make it again. These cats, some of these cats just keep making the same mistakes over and over. Gregor, what are you drinking? Harley, we doing the live thing tomorrow night or what?
They said yeah.
He did say yeah?
Yeah.
Well, Brandy said you said yeah, so we're doing it tomorrow. What time you want to do it tomorrow night? Harley, I'll let you make the call. That'd be pretty cool. Smith Brothers Live. The people you're talking about are engineers. Too many books. Yeah, I agree with you there. If you're not using probes, how are you checking internal temp, or how do you know when to pull the meat? That's a great question. Like I said earlier, the only probes that I do use are I have a thermopop or a thermopin Mark IV. And so, you know, I kind of have an idea of how long the cook's going to take. For example, pork butts, I've cooked enough of them to know how long it's going to take. So usually after about 4 hours, I'll go out there and check the internal temp. If I'm in the mood to wrap it, if it's 165 or so, that's when I usually wrap it. If I'm not going to wrap a pork butt, I may not check the temp for 8 hours because I know it's not going to be done at that point anyway. So I just don't. Ribs, I never check internal temp. I just kind of get my tongs and hold it from the end and use the bend test and see what the pullback of the bones are, see how the meat cracks when it starts to bend, that kind of thing. Chicken, I always check internal temp of chicken, but I just use my Mark IV ThermoWorks Thermopin or my Thermopop, and that's really all I use.
That's your brother.
Harley, you good for 8 o'clock? These cats that are so obsessed over pellet grill temps should check their oven in the kitchen. They'll be surprised how often they will be surprised, Russ, and they will probably be they'll probably be buying a new oven You know, they'll freak out. They won't know what to do.
Right here.
Corey Blanchett, good to have you. Do we know when the Watchman will have a smoker box? I thought I seen they were testing one. Corey, they have been testing one for a long time. I mean, they really have. They've had a bunch of different prototypes. Some of them, they were actually getting too much smoke. And we talked about that a little bit. The problem with that one was that, I mean, the hole is right above the fire. It can only have one way to go, and that's straight up. And so it was getting a little bit too much smoke. And I can appreciate this. You know, what they're wanting to do is make a smoker box for it, but they don't want to put out something that people aren't going to be satisfied with. And then they end up getting a bunch of complaints about it. So they've been testing out several different prototypes. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll ask Ben what the status of that smoker box is. And on the next live feed, I'll give you an update on that. I know they're trying to get a smoker box on there. They're also trying to make a lid that sits right on top of the grill grate. I think it may even include a temp gauge, almost some kind of lid, kind of like obviously a smaller version of a kettle grill, for example, but it would be square and fit the grill grate. So they're trying to come up with a couple of other options for it, but I'll talk to Ben a little bit about that a little bit more in depth and give you an update on the next Wednesday night show. So hot in Bakersfield. I saw Liz today drinking a margarita. Love your show. Good information on good old barbecue. I appreciate that, Tim. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Edward's sister's hands. God bless you, brother. Thank you for chiming in. I'll be in Brunswick in the morning. Close enough, Harley. Man, that's awesome, Stephen. Have you noticed any issues with the Wi-Fi on the Pro Series? It seems all I seem to read about it are complaints online about it being so awful. I don't even know what to believe. Well, David, first of all, I can believe that you don't know what to believe because there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff out there. So here's what I'll say. First of all, let me answer your question. I haven't had this is honest truth, haven't had one single issue with my Wi-Fi. And I will tell you, I probably don't have the best Wi-Fi on the planet. I'm being honest with you, but not one single issue. My router is on the front part of the house in the corner. My grill is on the back porch. So it's going through two walls to get there. And then I have controlled it with my cell phone all over the place, and I've had no issues whatsoever. Now, to answer the other part of your question, here's a couple things that you've got to think about too. You know, it's kind of like any kind of review, for example. You know, whether it's a hotel that you've been to. Me and Brandy went to Mexico last year. The hotel we stayed in was magnificent. It was one of the top two best places we ever stayed, by far.
Yes.
You read another review from somebody, it was all right, you know. Now, I don't know where they've stayed. Maybe they stay at the Biltmore a lot. We don't. So that's probably the nicest place we've ever stayed. It was magnificent. I don't know how it could have been any better. They're bringing us hors d'oeuvres and chocolate-covered strawberries and free champagne in a bucket. I don't know how you get any better, you know. There's all kind of weird towel animals on the bed every day when we come back.
I love them.
That kind of thing. There's a beach there. I don't know. But that guy says, oh, it's all right. So I say that to say you've got to understand that there's all kind of different perspectives, number one. Number two, they may be having trouble with their Wi-Fi, but it may not be the grill end that's the problem. It might be their Wi-Fi. But they don't take that into consideration. It's just got to be that grill. It's got to be that Wi-Fi. You know, it's got to be them. So that's something else to consider. You know, that there's several different components that have to come together to make it all work. The built-in system on the grill, that actual person's Wi-Fi router, their mobile device, whatever they're putting it on, and their mental capacity to know how to operate all that stuff. So the truth is the truth.
I know it, baby. I know it.
So keep that in mind as well. Now, are there some people that are probably having legitimate problems? No doubt about it. Not even going to lie to you. Me personally, I haven't had one single issue so far. That was the biggest thing I was worried about. Because before, when I had that Timberline, it was the starter generation, I guess you could say, of the Timberlines. And it needed an update in the software to make the Wi-Fi run right. Well, I didn't never do the update, so I couldn't get it to connect. I was skeptical as to whether or not it was because it didn't have the update or not, which is why I was skeptical about the 780. As soon as I got the 780, Harley was over here. I said, let's go ahead and hook this up, see if it's going to work. 5 minutes, we were hooked up, ready to go. So, I mean, I could get on here right now and it's going to tell me sweet things asleep. So, thank you guys for letting me vent. My mom passed 10 years, 8/03, 4th of July this year. Finally getting my head out of my ass and celebrating with my kids. Gregor, I completely understand, brother. You know, this show's about barbecue and all that, but it's about camaraderie too. And, you know, Father's Day had just rolled around, you know, and mine and Harley's dad and mom both have passed. And so anytime, you know, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Easter, any holiday really, sometimes it doesn't even have to be a holiday. Sometimes those memories just come back and you miss them like crazy. So completely understand.
No, you don't, Mike. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, you do, Mike.
You don't even know what we're talking about.
Wonder if they have thought about using an attachment like the Masterbuilt electric smokers. They have a cold smoke attachment box that connects and pushes smoke into the smoker. Now, that's a good idea. That's a good idea right there. And just being familiar with cold smoking a little bit, I've cold smoked cheese several times, and that's a great way to get smoke. And I may just throw that out there and mention it to them. That's a great idea.
Oh my gosh. No, Mike, that's terrible. We're not cooking the cat or the dog.
Mike,
They're both just behaving tonight.
Mike, the cat's in the mail. I bought many things where the firmware had to be updated before I could even use it. A gimbal for my iPhone was one of them. I thought it was defective. Yeah, a lot of that stuff. And you know, you would think that the companies would stay on top of that and kind of do that before it gets to the consumer instead of putting it on the consumer. But that's just not the way it happens sometimes.
You never believe Harley.
I always believe Harley. Always.
Not what Harley says.
Not, never a doubt, not one time. What you got in that cup there,
I
bud?
got choked up on that.
That whiskey will get you.
Steven wants the dog if Mike gets the cat.
Steven, dog's in the mail.
He was trying to get rid of it yesterday.
I even bought a brand new bag of dog food. I'll send it to. All right, guys, let me make this official because we're an hour and 25 minutes in before everybody gets off. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Jus Piddlin, Smith Brothers, live, 8 o'clock. We're not even going to have one of these. It's just ask the expert Harley Smith any questions and let it roll. That's what it's going to be tomorrow. So if you can tune in again tomorrow, I appreciate every single one of you tuning in tonight. God bless you if you can have this mess 2 nights in a row. Come on back and we'll do it again.
Stephen said he was going to stop on the way home.
Do it, brother. Do it.
Yeah, we're like, what, an hour?
Well, if he comes I-95, how close are we down? I-95, 45 minutes.
Probably. Yes, 8 Eastern.
Remember to smash that like button.
I'll be there for sure.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6,
Oh,
8,
Austin.
5
I hate
p.m.
that.
Pacific Time.
Austin said
Thank
him
you,
and his
Russ.
third Chimp will be there.
Austin, brother.
I hate that so bad.
Me and my third Chimp will be there. So are they giving you your third Chimp? What's the update on that? EDT, it is summer.
Yeah.
When I was 20 years old, that the world has a certain percentage of dumbasses, and that percentage would hold up no matter where you are. Work, school, church, grocery store. Chad, I agree with you. The Marine Corps always taught me and Harley there was 10%. No matter what, there's always 10% that, you know, you're going to have to police your own and get rid of that 10%. Me and Harley were talking about that the other day, except I believe that it is jacked up to about 25% and climbing. So I'm trying to keep my head above the water and stay above that 25%, but I think catching up with us. Gregor, bless you, man. If just for a 4th of July tribute for those that have served so we can enjoy our freedom. God bless you,
Very
man.
nice.
Thank you, Gregor. Really appreciate all you guys. I'm telling you, I said that at the beginning of the show, but I swear to you, you guys are the best subscribers on YouTube. A great group of people. If nothing else, you guys are why I'm glad that I started the channel. Really. Love it. David Cooper, as a Terminator, once said, I'll be back.
We'll be partying 4th of July.
Love to have you back, David.
2 days before Mexico. Good night, Dean.
Dean, appreciate you, man. Mr. Johnny Boy, I will try, and thanks for all you do. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we're going to get off here. We're knocking on an hour and a half. Time flies when you're having fun. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Smith Brothers, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, if that's correct. Mike Tabor had the score tonight, 45 viewers. That is awesome. Russ, appreciate you, brother, always.
Bye, Russ.
Love seeing my man Russ. Stephen Manis, bless you, man.
David.
And I'll be looking at my front porch tomorrow. David Cooper, thanks for doing this. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget about the mugs. We got 3 left. I think 1 orange. I got to pull Stephen out one. I already took it out.
We only have 1 orange left?
I think.
So I'm beating you right now?
I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know. I didn't never really say that.
Yeah. Good night, Austin.
Stephen, did you want? No, Stephen wanted a black one. Stephen, you wanted a black one or an orange one? I bet Stephen wanted a black one.
Elvin said he ordered an orange one.
Oh, he did order an orange one. And Stephen wanted a black one, so
Stephen got a black one.
so we're still tied. Don't forget about those. Got 1 red and white Richardson hat. I got one gray and white, 1 orange and khaki hat, just like this one. So.
And I don't like them because they're tough to sew patches on. I like the Richardsons.
You're doing a great job, babe.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Harley, let me know when you're on your way tomorrow. We're doing Mississippi pot roast tomorrow, and the live show again, Smith Brothers, tomorrow night.
Yeah, Austin got 1 of each. Yeah, we've already sent his out.
Yep. Also, yeah, he said he thinks they came today, so he's gonna check when he
Okay.
gets home. Austin, let me know when you get home if you got that stuff.
Nice.
That is outstanding, Bob. That's awesome. Glad you're enjoying it.
Good night, Stephen.
Yeah, I got to try that Mississippi chicken too. I bet the
Mm.
pork is outstanding too. Yeah, gonna do it.
Mississippi chicken.
Yeah, we checked out that. Didn't we check out that first 508 channel like last week? Didn't we?
I can't remember if that was it or if it was another one.
I think we checked it out. We'll check it out again though. That's good stuff. All right, guys. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Until then, we will be piddling. See ya.
Good night.